Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPAutos.com, your libertarian car guy. While I'm stuck in a Clover Conga, I thought I'd do a quick little video about something that I'm going to be publishing tomorrow that has to do with, let me pan here across the dash, the LCD touchscreen, about which I have ranted extensively in the past. And today's rant actually touches on some good news, at least potentially. I caught wind of a concept vehicle that Mercedes has revealed called the Vision Iconic. And one of the striking things about this Vision Iconic is that it heralds back to the era of having analog gauges. Now this is going to be, at least if it's ever produced or anything like it is ever produced, an ultra-luxury model that harkens back to the Art Deco period of the 1920s, which was defined by vehicular art. Vehicles in that period weren't just transportation; they were a way to express art. And models like the Duesenbergs and the Cords and the Auburns, just beautiful, beautiful things. And that went away with the Great Depression for obvious reasons. Things became much more utilitarian. But in the post-war period, when things got better again financially, and before the government got involved, cars got beautiful again. And really it was remarkable. If you look at cars from that period, which, that's why you go to an old car show, typically what you see are cars from that period, 50s, 60s, and even into the 70s, because many of them were just drop dead gorgeous, just really beautiful things. Well, fast forward a little bit to the early 2000s, around 2010, 2015, and some of the higher end brands started to do this thing of the touchscreen. I remember one of the first models that I got to drive that had it was an S-Class Mercedes around, 2014 or so. And at the time it was like, gee whiz, wow, look at that. Wow, just this sheet of LCD touchscreen. Problem was that got old fast. And now everybody has them. Here I am in this, really nothing particularly fancy Hyundai that's got it. They all have it. And they all have it for the same reason that everybody's got a smartphone. It's just this thing that's inexpensive and accessible to everybody. And to kind of try to explain this a little bit, think about smartphones. You get a $1,000 iPhone. All right, and compare that with the $50 El Cheapo Walmart phone that I've got. And yeah, I understand that the iPhone has a better, higher resolution camera, and it can do a couple of things that the El Cheapo $50 phone can't. But fundamentally, they look the same. You power it up and you've got a screen with apps, icons, and so on, and they pretty much do the same things. Well, it's the same with vehicular touchscreens. There really isn't that much difference. Sure, a current Mercedes S-Class has this wider, taller touchscreen than you'd find in a Hyundai or Kia, but next year or the year after that, the Hyundai or the Kia is going to have a touchscreen that's just as wide and tall and all of that. So, I think Mercedes has finally figured out that, at least on the high end, people want something that's not gauche, vulgar, and the word means common, by the way. Vulgar, it doesn't mean in poor taste, it just means common. And so they've decided, at least in their concept vehicle, to go back to this just really ornate, beautiful looking, in my opinion, chronograph type main instrument cluster. They have something called the Zeppelin, which is sort of this jeweled glass thing in the center of it, and it just really looks impressive, and it is impressive. And part of the reason that it's impressive is it's not cheap. A problem with the current S-Class and all the cars in that category, and even the cars in the $50,000 category, is that while they're cheap, they're also expensive. You're getting the same El Cheapo plastic, or some of them have glass facing touch screens, as you'd get in a $30,000 car. So why are you paying twice or three times as much again for that? Keeping in mind also that a lot of these high-end vehicles now come with the same basic four-cylinder engines, or maybe you might get a V6 or a 6 in the 3-liter range, as opposed to what you used to get at that price point, which was at least a V8 and sometimes a V12. So anyway, it's a step in the right direction. I think it's interesting. If you want to know more about this Mercedes Vision Iconic, the article will be up at EP Autos tomorrow, and I'll be on Bill Meyer's show tomorrow doing our usual weekly Wheels Up segment. So thanks as always for listening, and we'll have more for you again soon.